Welcome. Hello. I'm glad you all enjoyed your dinner. I hope you all enjoyed that dessert. I know I did. I've delayed the program slightly so I could finish it. I apologize for that. But I didn't want to waste it. It was just too good. So thank you very much to Sodexo for such a great dinner. I'm Scott Barr. I'm a 1986 criminal justice graduate from UW Oshkosh, and I'm the current president for your EWO Alumni Association. So welcome to you, or welcome back. And I'm happy to be here with Amanda to present tonight's guests. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about our Alumni Awards program. This evening, we're recognizing the achievements of 10 accomplished UW Oshkosh alumni. In 1972, the Alumni Association created the Outstanding Young Alumni program to recognize the early career accomplishments of our recent graduates. Tonight, 4 alumni will receive this honor in recognition of the success that they've achieved in their careers thus far and the promise that they hold for their future achievement. We're proud to honor 6 graduates with the Distinguished Alumni Award, which was established in 1964 to recognize those who've demonstrated a long record of distinguished service and achievement within their discipline, organization, or cause that's brought distinction to the university. Tonight's recipients will bring the total of UW Oshkosh Distinguished Alumni to 206. As further recognition of the award recipients, a brick in each of their names will be installed in the patio outside of this beautiful building. And tonight they'll get a mini replica of that brick to display in their home or office or to give to their kids to play with. And they'll also get one of these great glass photo frames to showcase their favorite UWO memories. While we're here, I should say a word about the many people who are nominated each year who aren't chosen as recipients. There are so many who are deserving of recognition, and we can acknowledge really only the best of the best. Those of you who are here tonight are the best of the best. Among those not receiving recognition this evening are vice president level executive at a global manufacturing giant whose name you would all recognize, who's named as one of the most influential persons in that company's 125-year history. There's a young lawyer who's the lead counsel for a 7-hospital group, a Naval Reserve captain who served as commanding officer in the largest Navy Medical Reserve unit, spends his free time providing free optometric services to underprivileged populations in the U.S. and around the world, as well as lots of other really qualified candidates. UWO's alumni are an overachieving bunch, I gotta say, and it's our honor to sort through all of their incredible contributions, their innovations in their industries, their motivating contributions to mankind, and their diligence, genius, and their good old Midwestern work ethic. As I said, it's an honor to be in a position to recognize the accomplishments of just a few of those deserving people. And while there is a certain amount of brain damage that occurs in trying to sort out who really is the best of the best, you guys really make the rest of us look good. So thank you for that.
Good evening, everyone. As Scott mentioned, my name is Amanda. I'm Amanda Betts-Regina. I'm a 2010 UW Oshkosh graduate. I also serve as the vice president of the Alumni Board. So I appreciate everyone coming here this evening. So I have the pleasure of first introducing a number of very special guests who are here this evening. So when your name is said, please rise so we can acknowledge your presence. Ooh. First up, we have Provost John Coker, Cheryl Green, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Barb Rao, Dean, College of Business. Judy Westfall, College of Nursing. Colleen McDermott, Dean, College Letters of Science. Elizabeth Elderton, Dean, College of Education and Human Services. Daryl Sims, Athletic Director. Sylvia Carey Butler, Assistant Vice Chancellor, Academic Support of Inclusive Excellence. Jamie Seaman, Chief Communications Officer, University Marketing and Communication. Barbara Boischer, Associate Vice Chancellor for University Advancement. And a little birdie told me that I believe Amira McBride is also here, Director, Equal Opportunity and Great Access. And obviously there's many people it takes a community to build, right? So if there's anyone else that we missed on this list, I do apologize, but thank you for coming. We also have a number of special guests in attendance, our former award winners. So I noticed walking into this room, we have Trevi McDonald, Gwen Kelly, Gwen over there, Jim Hoffman, who's also a board member, John Shu, I believe. Yeah, stuck it. There we go. And are there any others that maybe we missed? If not, again, thank you all for coming. So we're delighted that each of you could attend here this evening so we can honor some amazing people. The UW-Oshkosh Alumni Association is pleased to be tonight's sponsor, so all members of the board, please rise so you also can be acknowledged. And now that we have your clappers perfectly tuned up, I want to make sure we have one other person come up on the stage and we'll get things going. So I would like to introduce Chancellor Andrew Levitz, so please welcome Andy to the stage.
Good evening and welcome back, alumni. We're delighted you're here for this fantastic homecoming weekend and our great victory tomorrow over Stevens Point. So I hope you will all be at the game tomorrow. Very important. Bring your poncho. You're going to need to maybe get a little bit wet. We'll see what happens. Tent City is over at Reeve Auditorium. I hope that you can make it over there. That's always a great time. You'll get to interact with our students. Our students turn out for that in droves, so it's a great day. Dr. Green, where are you at? Right here. Okay. These people at the table here need to see the Dean of Students after I met with some of these alumni, and I'm concerned about their behavior when they were here. Apparently the library means something else. I don't know what that's about. So I used to study at the library, but not the one they go to. I will tell you, this is my second favorite event of the year. My favorite event, of course, is commencement, when we graduate thousands of students, undergraduates and graduate students, and turn them loose on the world. And that's really a wonderful event. If you've ever been to, well, you went to your own commencement, I realize, but it's in Koff. It's a big place. There's 6,000 people there. And then we have anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 students that graduate at each ceremony. So last year we graduated about 2,500 students into the world. And the reason why this is my second favorite event is we get to see the yield on that. What have our alumni been doing after all these years? And as I told the recipients this morning when I met with them, by the way, we bring them back and they spend the entire day on campus with us. They visit classes. They interact with our students. So we really put them to work. But I think it's really important for our alumni, particularly these award-winning alumni, to interact with our students so that our students can see what's possible, what they can do. But it certainly makes me reevaluate the life choices I have made when I see the incredible achievements of many of these alums as they come back. It really is inspiring to see the work that's done. And this is just the 10 that we honor. As Scott had mentioned before, there are literally dozens and dozens of others who could easily take their place amongst the UWO faithful here. So I wanted to tell you that our institution is doing well. We're off to a great start. We have a larger freshman class this year than we've had in many years. So that's a good sign. We are moving forward on that. It's the problem when you graduate a lot of students is that you got to be careful that you're reloading, if you will. You got to make sure that the students are coming in as freshmen. It's a challenge right now in the state of Wisconsin because the demographics are not going with us. People in Wisconsin forgot how to have babies. So that's maybe something that should be part of the curriculum, but I think that sort of takes care of itself, I would say. But as I like to say, it takes 19 years to make an 18-year-old. And so we need to have those 18-year-olds in here and also adult learners as well. This is something we're very interested in recruiting and being a part of what we do here at this institution. UW-Oshkosh is transformational. It's transformational for you as alumni. And one of the things I love about this institution, all comprehensive institutions like ours, that's different than, say, Madison or Wisconsin or Michigan or those other big places, is that each of you have your own unique story about a faculty member here who helped you in some way, a coach, somebody whom you made a very personal connection with while you were here that you may still have contact with today. And that's really the magic of a place like UW-Oshkosh is the people who have helped you along the way. And that's why it was so gratifying to see our alumni back today on campus helping the next generation. Really looking forward tonight. You're going to hear some great stories. And so we're looking forward to seeing you all at Tent City tomorrow. And we also have the big football game, number 3 in the country. We have finally vanquished those foes from Whitewater. And so they are behind us. They are behind us. And we're going to be off and running, and we got to run the table on this in this conference, and then it's into the playoffs, and then we hope to see everybody in Virginia in December as we win the national championship in football. So with that, I will turn it back over to Amanda and Scott, and we'll proceed with the awards.
It's time to get this party started. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 2017 Outstanding Young Alumni Award recipients. Tonight we will honor 4 alumni who have graduated within the last 15 years for their professional and civic accomplishments and their future promise. This brings the total number of alumni to receive this award to 215. So first up, please welcome former student athlete, double graduate Joseph Fenrick, who has 2 science education degrees from UWO and works as both an environmental geology lecturer at UW-Fond du Lac and a science teacher at UW-Fond du Lac High School, where he won the Teacher of the Year Award in 2013. He uses a variety of hands-on learning and critical thinking experiments to challenge his students. He also gives back to the community through his service as a member of the Fond du Lac County Board of Supervisors. And when asked about his career, put him on the spot now that he's behind me, Joseph responded with, "One of my greatest achievements is my ability to affect my students' future. I engage my students in active learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving activities that help develop their individual skills and abilities." So please, welcome Joseph to the stage to receive his 2017 Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
Good evening. When I first came to UW-Oshkosh, the campus was a little overwhelming. I come from a small town, population of 2,000. My first class on campus was in a world geography class. It was a pit that had over 200 students in it. That was double the size of my high school graduating class. Oshkosh was this big city. Me, I was all alone. However, my professors and my coaches quickly changed my perspective of college from that of a large place where I was just a number, to a home where I was part of a family. The family created here at UW-Oshkosh included a track team, a geology club, professors, and many coaches. The track team acted like my brothers and sisters, people who I would hang out with, people who I'd study with, and people who I'd compete against. There's 2 professors that are here tonight that guided me down a certain path towards the career that I'd eventually take. Dr. Moen and Dr. Limburger. Dr. Limburger was my science teaching methods professor who had one main rule when you teach. Make sure students receive 1 good hour of science a day. Doesn't matter what the topic is in science, just make sure science is the best hour of that day. That philosophy I still use today when I teach. Dr. Limburger, thank you. Dr. Mode welcomed me into the geology family by giving me my first job on campus as a tutor for the geology department. He also included me on his research team that we were investigating a beaver dam that dated to the Ice Age. Dr. Limburger and Dr. Mode, because of you, I'm a high school science teacher at Fond du Lac. I'm also a geology professor for UW Fond du Lac. Thank you, both of you. I am very fortunate to have two parents who cared about education, who made sacrifices to put my brothers and I through college. One of my fondest memories of college is having my parents show up at a track meet after they drove 6 hours in one direction, only to watch my brothers and I run our 15-second hurdle race. To have my parents then drive 6 hours back home. Mom and Dad, you've always been there for me. I appreciate everything you've done. Thank both of you. In middle school, I met someone who had become very special to me. In high school and college, she proofread every paper. She listened to every speech. Today, she continues to proofread all my emails. She continues to knock on doors when I campaign. But most importantly, she's the mother to our 3 beautiful children. Lori, you are the love of my life. I would not be here at UW Oshkosh. I would not be successful. I would not have been able to accomplish everything I've done without you. Lori, thank you. I come back now 12 years later to a place where my career all began. The progress I saw today on campus with all the new buildings and the new research labs is amazing. Spending time with the education department and the geology department and the athletic department, I can still see how this campus is like a family. The track team helped build my confidence, and Coach Zupons showed me how to be a wonderful leader. To be recognized by the place where it all began is incredible. Thank you to Julie Ziegler, who nominated me, who's also a UW Oshkosh alumni. Thank you to all of my professors and to the chancellor and to the alumni selection committee. This is truly an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next award recipient is Adam Notham, 2011 biology graduate. Following graduation, he served as a health extension agent for the Peace Corps in Tanzania and provided community education on health topics, particularly malaria. Today, he works as a malaria program coordinator with the NGO Medicine Education Africa, training health workers to be certified to test for and treat malaria. I'm told that we're really missing out if we don't hear some of his stories about giving malaria education lessons on public buses in Tanzania. So maybe he'll share some of that with us tonight. Adam, please step forward to receive your 2017 Outstanding Young Alumni Award.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's a pleasure to be back in Oshkosh at my alma mater, where I gained a lot of the knowledge and inspiration from my time in Tanzania. I'd also like to take this time to thank my loved ones for joining me here tonight, my mom and dad, my brother Brian, who is also a UWO graduate, my grandparents, and my wonderful girlfriend Emily, who I served with in Tanzania. Being here, it's amazing to be surrounded by such accomplished alumni and professors equally impassioned by their time at UW Oshkosh. I've been impressed by all your stories, and it encourages me to strive to match your levels of success in my future career. My experiences in Tanzania are ones I'll never forget, not just because it made such an impact in my life, but because I feel that they should be the foundation for any future impact I may make. When I was living in a rural Tanzanian village, motivation came naturally and in excess. Every sick student missing school, every concerned mother with an underweight child, and every funeral gave me the motivation to get out in that hot African sun and do more health lessons in every creative way I could muster. Like you mentioned, the bus lessons. Now that I'm back home, it is with those experiences that I will have the drive for future successes in the global health and international development field. My service with the U.S. Peace Corps and its core values has solidified many of the ideas and ideals I acquired here at UW-Oshkosh. The need to serve the underserved while learning the lessons that they have to teach us as well. It is easy to concentrate on the cultural differences at the surface level, but with a shifted focus, one can begin to see the overwhelming similarities we as people share. It is with these similarities that we can find connections across borders and even continents. I strongly believe that our greatest successes and prosperity start with individual connections and community support, no matter where on the planet you happen to find yourself. I'm tremendously honored to receive this award from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, and I look forward to using my appreciable education to continue working towards improved health and international kinship. Thank you very much.
Next up, from Nashville, Tennessee, we're ready to honor singer-songwriter, speaker, and composer Tony Memel. A 2008 music business major, Tony has toured 45 states in the U.S., fine-tuning his craft. He also toured Brazil, Panama, Paraguay, and Uruguay in cooperation with the U.S. State Department, building cultural bridges through music. He's earned a top 40 spot in the Nashville Songwriters Association and was named Singer-Songwriter of the Year. He's been featured in the Associated Press, CNN, Boston Globe, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, CNN, I think I mentioned them, Chicago Tribune, and WSMV in Nashville. He serves as an ambassador for the nonprofit Lucky Finn Project, which supports children with hand and limb differences. He donates his time to teach adaptive guitar lessons to young students with limb differences, helping them to develop the custom devices and methods that allow them to play. Please welcome Tony Memel.
Good evening, Titans. All right, how are you tonight? Well, it is a true joy to be here, to have the opportunity to speak tonight, and to be surrounded by my family, my mother and my father, my mother and father-in-law, who get along very well, and my wife, Leslie, my beautiful wife, Leslie. I was born without a left hand. And when I was a teenager, music hit me really hard. I had a friend from school named Max, and Max could hear a song off the radio, and by the time the song was done playing, he could play it on the guitar. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and I wanted to be able to do it too. So I saved up for my first guitar. I got my first job to save up for my first guitar. And I started to learn how to play by building casts on my arm out of anything I could find from around the house. So I started very inexpensive and cheap, like with taking Scotch tape and wrapping a pick on my arm like this. And I graduated all the way to duct tape over the course of about 8 years. And I also loved to sing, so I would try to make my friends laugh by singing pop songs at the top of my voice in the school hallways in high school. And one day, the new choir director at Waukesha North High School, where I grew up, said, "Tony, I think we can put that voice to better use in my choirs." And so I was a senior in high school. I had never been in choir like that before. And she took what was silly and made it something useful and special. And she heard something in me. And as the year progressed, I was the lead in the school musical, and I was offered lots of opportunities through singing and music. And she said it was about Valentine's Day, she said, "Tony, I think you could do this with your life." And she said, "There's a scholarship audition coming up at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. I know the director there, Carl Chapman. I could make a call if it would be something you'd be interested in." I didn't know what I was going to do yet with my life. I had seen like musicians on MTV, and I thought that was kind of neat, but I didn't know they went to music school. So she got that scholarship audition lined up for me, and I came up here. I met Carl Chapman, Frank Hoffmeister, and Joyce Andrews, who were on the vocal staff at the time, and they heard me sing my audition, and they offered me a scholarship. And I came here. I didn't even know what a music major was, to be honest with you. I didn't know how to read music very well. I read treble clef. If you've ever played piano, I didn't know how to read bass clef. I still said all cows eat grass, like A, C, E, G. So just fast forwarding full circle, if you want to know what UW-Oshkosh did for me, this year I just debuted my second symphony. And yeah. And after I graduated from Oshkosh, I started getting out into the world and sharing the music that I had learned here. And I started playing music for people any chance I could. And as I started getting my name in the press and getting my name out there, I started getting phone calls and emails and Facebook messages from people who either were born with physical differences themselves or more regularly from parents of children who had physical differences. And they just said that they either found encouragement in my story or they wanted their kids to meet me someday. And so I started, as a part of my touring life, I would go and visit these kids in their schools or have a meal together and simply try to show them you can do anything in life if you set your mind to it. And so as I accept this award tonight, I accept it honestly and wholeheartedly on behalf of those kids, because I want to just say tonight that no matter what the world may perceive as a potential weakness, I think those things can be our greatest strengths. So thank you so much to UW-Oshkosh for teaching me almost everything I know about music, and for the and for the opportunity to be here tonight and to have a wonderful meal with my family. Thank you.
Unfortunately, our final Young Alumni Award winner couldn't join us this evening. Lieutenant Lindsay Stoyle completed both her undergraduate and her graduate studies as a single parent at UWO prior to being commissioned into the U.S. Navy. So you can imagine she has other things to attend to. Unfortunately, the government wouldn't let her back to us for tonight. She has served in a variety of positions, including on the Joint Staff, as well as the Chief of Naval Operations Staff. She currently works as a special assistant to the president of Uniformed Services University. In a letter of nomination support, Commander Scott Messmer wrote this about Lindsay. Lieutenant Stoyle is an officer who never shies away from hard work or demanding tasks. On the contrary, she tends to excel where others would fail. Her life experiences while serving in diverse military environments, from working with the Marines in the field to working on the 4-star staffs at the Pentagon, makes her exceptionally dedicated. I think we can all say that we appreciate her service to our country. In her yes, definitely. In her absence, we welcome to the stage Charles DeMonk, who will be accepting the award on Lindsay's behalf. Charles was a former assistant coach to Lindsay while her time here as part of the Rifle Club. So Charles, if you'd like to come forward. Thank you.
It's so important to make connections between staff and students. In this case, I was on campus teaching, and I ran into this lady who was a motor mouth. You know, this type A personality that you want to stay away from. At the time, I was an ex-Green Beret that was here on campus teaching. She was going into the military. She was part of ROTC. And we just kind of hit it off. She wanted to know what military life was about. And this friendship grew. Now, this is a lady who was up at 05:30 every morning doing ROTC training. Then at 6 o'clock, she was in for the rifle team. And then she was completing her degree in chemistry and then on for an MBA before she went into the Navy. In the Navy, she is advanced way ahead of schedule. She's a lieutenant in the Navy, which is the equivalent of a captain in the regular armed forces. We don't see Navy as regular armed forces. But she's that far advanced because of her MBA, because of her chemistry background. You know, this attention to detail that she got here as a student. It's going to be interesting to watch her career grow in the military. If she's this far advanced now, where she'll be 5 years from 10 years from now. And she still relates it back to being a student on this campus. And I thought, that's cool. The reason she's not here tonight is because she broke her hip. And the military won't let her fly. So that's why she's not here. But in the same regard, she's on a mission somewhere in the Virgin Islands area providing relief. So even though she's injured, somehow she must have taken a boat there, I guess. Because she's definitely on the no-fly list for a while. She's just one of those individuals that clicked with me, clicked with other professors, and her motivation came from here. So everybody that had contact with her, I thank you. It wasn't just me, so thank you.
So congratulations to our Outstanding Young Alumni Award recipients tonight. Those four all have had such amazing success, and we're proud of their achievements. Makes us all look good, as I said earlier. So now it's time to present our 2017 Distinguished Alumni Awards to 6 highly qualified and accomplished alumni. First, we honor 1977 nursing alumna Donna Clare, who's, yay. She's a well-respected nurse of 40 years accomplished service. She's worked at Mercy Medical Center in Oshkosh for nearly her entire career, serving for the past 23 years as an RN, night shift hospital coordinator, and the hospital's organ donation liaison. In her role coordinating organ and tissue donations, she's participated in end-of-life care for more than 20 organ donors, resulting in nearly 70 life-saving transplants. She does her work with exceptional care and compassion, making a significant difference in the lives of numerous people throughout our community. The letter of support written to us by the University of Wisconsin Organ and Tissue Donation Office reveals that Dawn's efforts, problem-solving skills, strategies, and accomplishments have led people in the 20-plus hospitals working with that program to ask the question, what would Dawn O'Clair do when they are faced with some knotty problem? Dawn O'Clair, please step forward to receive your 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award. You certainly may.
Thank you. So, my friend Pam was awarded this award last year, and she made the recommendation to me, start with a joke and lighten the mood. I didn't know I was going to be the joke. I was touring the amazing nursing program simulation lab today, and it seems they needed another dummy, so I obliged. I want to sincerely thank the university for acknowledging my work with this distinguished award. I'm honored to be among this group of alumni who have turned their educations into impressive careers that have made such a difference in the lives of others. My congratulations to each of you. UW-Oshkosh has been an important part of my life. Its reputation for high-quality nursing education found its way even to the small town where I grew up, and this became my school of choice early on. Fletcher Hall was my first home away from home. I made lifelong friends here, and we gained our freshman 15 at Blackhawk Commons. We all graduated together from Adult Beverages 101 at Tosh's Bar. I met my husband on this campus, and we later married at the then beautiful Newman Center Chapel. And through the years, I have mentored many young nurses from this program. And now I can add I broke my first bone here. I want to touch briefly on how my work has been supported. First, my education started at home with an amazing mother where I learned all about work ethic. Continued here where I learned to be a nurse. And my commitment to lifelong learning that has kept me relevant in my field. Inspiring leaders from whom I learned that praise comes back around tenfold in hard work. Autonomy breeds creativity, and trust inspires confidence. And I'm so blessed in the back nine of my career to be reporting to an inspiring leader in Denise Parrish. Her greatest gift is her ability to make those around her feel truly valued, not just as a nurse or as a worker, but as a person. And my team, who support me as the face of Donation at Mercy, while each of them from every department in our hospital perform tasks both big and small, all of which contribute to our success. And my family. My husband, Fred, deserves an award. I can't tell you how many times he's turned the car around before I've even hung up the phone to bring me back home to serve a donor family. Picks up the pieces at home with kids so that I can do what I do, and offering me comfort as I grieve every loss. Without him, there would be no this. I do want to correct my statistics, not to toot my own horn, but the facts are, after I did a complete study of the donors that I have worked with 38 organ donor families, which resulted in 110 life-saving transplants, and another 20-some organs recovered for important research that will help people down the road. I had all my comments for this event planned well in advance, but as I was laying in bed this morning, I realized I was missing the most important message. And I might cry before I get to the end of this. And my message is that true rewards don't come with trophies at banquets. For me, they come from a wife's whisper in my ear saying her husband's death was beautiful. Watching two teenage boys pick out quilts for their dad, and as boys would do, carefully place them to ensure equal coverage. Hearing an elderly father explain as the flag takes flight, I can hear her laughing in the wind. Sharing souls as a sister with another mother who shared her son in death. Seeing a teenage son and daughter paint their mother's fingernails in Packer colors because that was her thing on game day. And observing my colleagues salute our American flag in honor of a young man who was a hero both in life and in death. So in closing, I humbly accept this award on behalf of Doug, David, Hannah, and every donor whose gift of life journey I've shared, and with their families, and for their families, whose gift of time and patience allowed it to happen. Thank you.
Let's get a picture. Let's get a picture.
Well, if you ever stumble, trip, or fall, I think you want it done in the College of Nursing department here on campus. Thank you, Don.
I would prefer it not be on campus.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Fair enough. So our next 5 honorees actually all hail from outside the state. So we greatly appreciate the fact that each one of you and your families took the time to come back to Wisconsin to receive your award. It does show that our alumni do make a huge impact outside of our Wisconsin borders, which is fantastic. So the first of these is 1979 geology grad Richard Dick, as I have been told, Gunther, a biochemistry and nanotechnology researcher at North Carolina State University's College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. His studies have applications for human disease and crop protection. He currently works on a grant project funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to improve food security in sub-Saharan Africa. Dick is also a co-founder of Trana Discovery, a proprietary discovery technology platform that enables its partners to discover new treatments for bacterial, viral, and fungal infectious diseases. And apparently in his free time, he has authored and co-authored over 60 peer-reviewed articles and holds 4 patents related to his research. So let's honor Dick Gunther with the 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you, Amanda. When I was told I would have a few minutes to say something to this group, I was terrified. What could I say that would distinguish me from a group of truly outstanding and distinguished alumni? I'm really just that little kid sitting on the front stoop. I grew up in Oshkosh, just down the road from here, 1634 Elmwood Ave. The red house there, if you go by today, you'll still see it. And if that doesn't distinguish me from everyone else, I don't know what it is. I grew up and was raised by my parents, Richard, who has passed, and my mother, Valois, who is here, and my 2 sisters, Lynn and Julie. I attended Oshkosh Public Schools, and I had a group of science teachers, Mr. Fuller, Hassel, Bremer, Rutz, Spalding, and I forget the last one, who shared their love of learning and knowledge that gave me inspiration to do whatever I wanted to do. And I think they lost the pictures of my student IDs, but I did attend UWL, and I majored in geology, and it was here that I met world-class professors. I met Dr. Jones, who I can thank for tonight, who introduced me and nominated me for this, finding out what I did. LaBarge, McKee, McKnight, Hoffman, Fetter, and who can forget T.S. Loudon. It was here also that I learned a lesson that stuck with me forever. If any of you have ever been with me in a tall building, I have a profound fear of heights. And in order to get your degree in geology, you have to go to field camp. And you have to hike to the top of at least 10 mountains. It was the lesson I learned was in order to achieve your goals, you have to overcome your personal fears to have success and really achieve your dreams. It was also when I was at UWO that I met the love of my life and my soulmate, Susan, to whom I've been married 38 years. I've been blessed with 2 wonderful children, Mark in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Meredith in Seattle, Washington, and 5 wonderful grandchildren who continue to be my pride and joy and my passion. I was also blessed to have a career as a research scientist. I was able to do things that I never envisioned growing up in Oshkosh, but it's truly been a joy. And I've recently been able to do a project that's funded by Bill and Melinda Gates working on food security, in which it can make a difference. But I wish, I was thinking, could I claim this as a culmination of a career of research? And the answer was, it was really serendipity. It's my new favorite word. Discovering something significant by luck and by chance. And thinking about that, for me, it would be dumb luck. But then I realized, growing up in Oshkosh and attending UWO really gives me the basic knowledge and science that allowed me to take part in this discovery. And if I can leave you with one final thought, is if you grow up in a red house filled with love, you can accomplish anything. Thank you.
And he even got right the number of years he's married, right? Smart man. So now, let's roll out the red carpet for 1983 radio, TV, film grad Brenda Lee Lau, who comes to us from Venice, California. As a creative director and senior writer-producer for ABC Entertainment, Brenda's made it big in Hollywood as an award-winning writer, producer, and director. She's spearheaded promotional campaigns for such shows as Grey's Anatomy, Lost, Desperate Housewives, and How to Get Away with Murder. She's also an independent filmmaker who wrote, produced, and directed the narrative short Deadbeat, which took top honors at the Las Vegas Cinefest, Las Vegas Film Festival, the Women's International Film Festival, the Ladies Filmmaker Film Festival in Beverly Hills, and the Wildwood Film Festival, good old Appleton, Wisconsin. Brenda's a great advocate for UWO and the radio, TV, film program. She's wonderfully supportive of the students who want to pursue a creative career, mentoring interns, giving tours to UWO students, establishing a scholarship for students who want to write and direct narratives, and returning to campus, as she did today, to meet with students and advise them. Brenda Lee Lau, I invite you to come up and accept 2017 UWO Oshkosh Distinguished Alumni Award.
Oh, whoa. Is that okay? Fade in. Exterior. Day. Establishing shot. The University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, 1978. We follow the camera as it travels across campus to Scott Hall, 8th floor. It's co-ed. Women on one side, guys on the other. A group of 18 and 19-year-olds, strangers from across Wisconsin and the globe, embark on the adventure of their lives. All are dressed in nothing but bed sheets, held in place with ropes, belts, and scarves, wearing sandals and wreaths on their heads. At the center is a half barrel. They're dancing around and chanting, toga, toga, toga. You got it. The first official toga party of the semester is in full swing, inspired by that summer's blockbuster, Animal House. Oh yeah, and so my career at UWO began. Once I stepped onto the campus at UWO, a whole new world opened up, full of exciting and new opportunities. Things I'd only dreamed about or saw on TV or in the movies. From making the pom-pom squad and performing the halftime shows for the Titan football and basketball games, to being a DJ at WRST, writing and directing a TV special, and the short film, The Reunion, here on campus. That's the magic of UWO. If you dream it, you can do it. From the moment you start, doors open, you get your hands dirty, gaining valuable experience, the kind earned from trying, making mistakes, learning from them, and trying again, along with the support of the amazing instructors and counselors guiding you to reach your goals. The incredible classes, cutting-edge curriculums, and internships makes UWO the perfect place to prepare for a career in radio, TV, and film. Like the groundbreaking Hollywood Winter Interim Program, where students pursuing a future in entertainment get up close and personal with those who are doing it. I was fortunate to be a part of this program in the winter interim of '83. 10 of us bohunks, labeled by our leader, Dr. Bob Jacobs, headed to California on the historic Route 66. His mentor, the legendary author Ray Bradbury. Fahrenheit 451, The Martian Chronicles, our sponsor. He set up meetings for us with pretty much anyone we wanted to meet. My choice was Aaron Spelling. Remember Charlie's Angels, Dynasty. I found myself sitting in his office across from him, talking to him about entertainment, and handed him my first spec script of Heart to Heart. Got my first rejection notice, but it definitely changed my mind and my career goals. It's these type of opportunities you don't get at any university. They are life-changing and career-building, confidence boosters, where a girl from a small town of 300 people in Wisconsin gained the experience, the skills, and determination to move to Hollywood and succeed. I've had a blast. I was part of the team that launched Oprah Winfrey. I've worked at NBC, ABC. I've just had, my most recent project was The Good Doctor. And I just wanted to share a couple of experiences that stood out. I did a shoot with the Captain Kirk, William Shatner, when he was on Boston Legal, the show that garnered him an Emmy and Golden Globe. I had been forewarned that he was a stickler for copy and always wanted things rewritten. I went in prepared with alternate copy lines in my back pocket. Sure enough, Bill requested some changes, not a problem. But when he asked next to speak to the director, and I raised my hand, he lost it. We both laughed so hard we were in tears. I think he thought he had died and gone straight to hell, taking orders from this little girl from Wisconsin. We had a great time and got the job done. He was a class act. And then there was this one time I flew to Bangor, Maine in the dead of winter to shoot promos with the master of horror for his first ever written directly for TV miniseries, Storm of the Century. I arrived at his office, which, by the way, is in the middle of a military reserve base in a tin shed. Inside, copies of his bestsellers line the walls, encased in glass with spotlights. His secretary led me to his office, where I waited for him to arrive. I was getting more nervous by each passing minute. Finally, he entered, all 6 feet 4 inches of him, dressed like a lumberjack, wearing his signature Coke bottle glasses. And instead of sitting at his desk, he lay down on the floor in front of me, looked me up and down and said, "So what do you got, kid?" And I proceeded to hand him the 7 scripts I had written, promos. We read through them, and we ended up producing 4 of them. And I just want to share these stories because all of this is possible, only possible, because of UW Oshkosh. And it was about 5 years ago, UW Oshkosh with Justine and a few other alums that have Kevin Weinberg, Brad Carr, Ralph Berge, and myself and a few more, started the program back up. And we've now had 2 rounds, and many of the students who have participated have now found themselves in careers in Hollywood, and actually I get to work alongside 2 of them, and they're doing us very proud. And one of the young ladies, she just won the Rising Star Award, top 30 under 30 in Hollywood, and I couldn't be proud of her. Paige Bonanno, keep an eye on her. I just want to share that, telling stories is my passion. Writing is where it begins. Stories of courage, overcoming the odds, survival, love. Stories entertain, document, they connect us, because when it comes down to it, no matter our beliefs, we're more alike than not. I'd like to thank Doug Heil for nominating me for this award, and thank you to Justine Stokes, John Coker, Barbara Washer, Chris Gatner, Andrew Smock, Claire Armstrong, all of your encouragement and support. You are the reasons why UW-Oshkosh is the university to attend. And I'd like to thank my parents, Shorty and Carol, my roommate from Scott Hall, Bobby Jean. Talk to her later, she might be able to share a few more Scott Hall stories. And a fellow filmmaker, Jason Buss, and one of my bohunks in crime, Gina Krause, And I'd like to say thank you to the Alumni Selection Committee, the Chancellor, and I just want to tell and say to all of the students watching our broadcast tonight, I encourage you to do whatever you dream of. You can do it. I did it. Anyone can. And congratulations to my fellow recipients. And it's with the utmost humility and gratitude I accept this award. Thank you.
I think I should mention, I told a story earlier that unfortunately I had to cancel the winter commencement last year, and so ever since I've been known as the Chancellor.
So now we'll meet two-time nursing grad and retired Air Force Colonel Jane Vessel. She earned her bachelor's in 1985 and then returned to earn a doctorate of nursing practice in 2014, having earned a master's degree in nurse midwifery from Georgetown in the meantime. She currently serves as a senior nurse midwife and preceptor at Scott Air Force Base, where she specializes in high-risk neonatal and obstetrical nursing. Is obstetrical really a word? Is obstetrical? That's right? Okay. I don't know these things. Her 27-year Air Force career culminated in various leadership and clinical assignments, including serving as the chief nurse of the largest theater hospital in the Iraqi medical training program, responsible for training of Allied and Iraqi medical partners. Although often outside the wire at great risk, she says that the work was vital to the Iraqi medics' ability to care for their soldiers and their countrymen, and she looks back on that time with great sense of pride in the team that she served with. We're happy to honor Jane Vessel with the 2017 UW-Oshkosh Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you, Chancellor, faculty, fellow alumni, family, friends. I'm really honored to be standing here at this time. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd ever receive a Distinguished Alumni Award. But I accept this not on behalf of myself, but on behalf of all the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that I've served with, all the women and children and families that I've touched. When I was looking for a school of nursing, my mother asked me what was important. I told her what was important to me was a place that felt like home. I wasn't a big city girl. I didn't want to go to a big city campus. I wanted some place where I could really get to know the professors and the students and learn and really just focus on learning. UW-Oshkosh fit that bill. My mother went to school in Oshkosh. At that time, it was Mercy School of Nursing that she attended. It's now closed. But she encouraged me to take a look at Oshkosh along with several other schools, and God bless her soul that she got me here through the grace of God and the hard work of my mother and father, I didn't have to pay too much. I worked full-time while I went to nursing school, and I knew that I wanted to be always a maternal child nurse. When I graduated from nursing school, there weren't many opportunities for a new grad to do OBGYN nursing at that time. So a friend of mine, Karen Jost, who talked me into taking a C-130 down to Florida and taking a look at the Air Force. And so I hopped on that C-130, and we had a great time on the beach, and we thought that's what the Air Force was going to be like. And in many ways it was, because there's so many great people who serve our nation. And I'm incredibly grateful that I got the opportunity to serve in the United States Air Force. I initially went in thinking, okay, I'm only going to do 4 years. I'm going to get out and go back and be with my family in Wisconsin and continue to serve Wisconsin families. But I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad that I got to see the world. Everything from Europe to Korea to Japan to Guam to the remote areas of Ecuador and Jamaica and all the way through Iraq and the Middle East. Because there's one thing that I want to share with you is that America is the best place to be. There's no other place I'd want to be. When I was in Iraq, there were so many soldiers and sailors that were so wounded, and I'm proud that our team saved 97% of them that came through our halls. I pray for those who didn't. And it was always very, very hard. And one would say, well, what was a midwife doing in Iraq? Well, at that time I was serving as a chief nurse, because one thing that UW Oshkosh taught me was leadership. One thing the Air Force drives home is integrity, service before self, and excellence in everything that you did. And I'd have to say I could totally apply that to the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh and everything that they taught me. When I was looking to complete my doctoral program, I was actually in Iraq. The instructors and the faculty were very gracious, and they actually interviewed me in the middle of the night through Skype, and we got cut off several times, but it worked out. And all the professors were fabulous. I got to start my doctoral program while I was in Kuwait in 120-degree heat. And thank goodness for the internet and the very strong program. A couple years later, I graduated, and the College of Nursing here has just grown so much. Today, as I looked around at everything the students have, it's just amazing what the college has done, what all the alumni and the parents that help contribute to this university do for the students to provide them an outstanding education. The sim lab was second to none, and I've been in a lot of sim labs because the Air Force is big on sim labs, but I can tell you this was the best sim lab I've seen, and Dr. Westphal, keep moving forward. It's a fabulous place. So I encourage the university to continue to do great things, and I know they will. And I look forward to being a very big part of that. And I encourage all the alumni to continue to give back to their community and to continue to just encourage our students to be good citizens and to prosper and have good faith and peace in their hearts to do good for our nation. And thank you once again for this distinguished award.
Next, let's invite accounting grad and former national champion long-distance runner, Jamie Pollard, up to receive the 2017 UW-Oshkosh Distinguished Alumni Award. There we go. He is the former Deputy Athletic Director for the University of Wisconsin and has been serving as Athletics Director at Iowa State since 2005. Oh, look at that chap. Jamie has an extensive history of working to invest in facilities, engage the fan base at record levels, and triple the annual fundraising. During Jamie's tenure, Iowa State has registered its all-time best athletics graduation rate, as well as the Directors' Cup ranking of 34th in 2010. When reviewing Jamie's 7 letters of nomination support, the following are just 3 snippets I wanted to share with all of you. The first: there's a lengthy list of people within college athletics who would identify Jamie as their primary mentor and advocate. Second, to me, he's the unsung hero of Badger athletics. Not too shabby. And third, beyond the state of Iowa, Jamie is regarded by his peers as one of the most intelligent, forward-thinking administrators in all of collegiate athletics. Daryl Sims, don't take that personally. So please join me in presenting Jamie Pollard the 2017 UW-Oshkosh Distinguished Alumni Award.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you, Christine Gantner and the Alumni Association for bringing me back and giving me this opportunity. You know, I do work in higher education, so I'm used to actually being on the other side of the table in this event. So, truth be told, I really know what this means. It means I'm older, and I now have a development officer assigned to me. When you work in the profession that I work in, you typically are pretty nomadic, and you have a lot of acquaintances, but your true friendships are few and far between. And so it means a lot to me and to my wife Ellen that we would have our good friends Dave and Julie Myers here with us from Madison. We have, unfortunately, from the table that has to go to the dean's office tomorrow, two of my college teammates, Dan Tomey and his wife Sue, Tom Ryle and his wife Beth. Dean, it was them. I wouldn't be here, though, this evening. I'm here because I'm just the ultimate end product of life experiences and people that have influenced me and made this night possible. And there are 5 people here that I would like to at least recognize and share a little bit of why I'm here tonight. And one starts with my beautiful wife, Ellen, who is also the mother of our 4 children. You can't do what I do without having somebody behind you that allows you to have the time and the energy to not be there for many events that both mom and dad need to be there because dad has 500 other family members as student athletes in your athletics program. So thank you, Al. To Oshkosh alums helping Oshkosh alums, I would not be at Iowa State, nor would I be up here tonight if a member of the search committee that hired me, who is the chair of our athletics board at Iowa State, wasn't also an Oshkosh alum who nominated me for this award and was also the 2007 recipient of this award. So John Shue, thank you for being here tonight. I didn't know Vice Chancellor and Director of Athletics Daryl Sims wrote that about the Badger piece, but thanks, Daryl. But I would be remiss if I didn't also recognize Daryl. Daryl worked on his master's while I was at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and he actually interned for me. And so I do feel like you, again, reinforced the value of giving back to students, but I also feel like I've also assisted my alma mater, as Daryl now is so well serving as our Director of Athletics. So thank you, Daryl. I didn't know this next person was going to be here this evening, and I was so excited that she came up and gave me a hug and was actually assigned to sit at my table. But Dr. Joanne Cross, she was one of the accounting professors that I had when I was a student. And where's Lynn? Give me my tour today. My development officer that's assigned to me. Lynn can verify this, but we talked about who were the faculty members that impacted you, and I said, well, number one, I just wrote a birthday card out to Harry Ostendorf, who turned 90 last week, and wrote him a card. But I said Joanne Cross, and I didn't know she was going to be here this evening, and when we hugged each other tonight, well, I looked at her and I said, you know, Joanne, I still remember, and she goes, I know exactly what you remember. So senior year, financial theory class, we had to pick a company that you wanted to convince your fellow classmates that they needed to invest in, and you had to give a presentation to the class. And I chose Reebok shoes. Go figure, I was going to be in athletics, right? But what I did is I dressed in Reebok clothing underneath my suit and tie, and I brought in we called them boom boxes back then, but a big radio, and I played Chariots of Fire and did a strip tease down to the Reebok gear. And Joanne tells me she still tells students about that presentation. So, and my wife verified that I actually talk about that presentation. And last but certainly not least, my college coach, John Zupans, and his wife, Deb Vicauderin. I told the athletic staff when I had the chance to meet with them today that I came here as a very immature, stubborn, loudmouth young man, and both of them so influenced me and allowed me to mature at my own pace, sometimes slower than Deb wanted me to mature. But I can't thank them enough because they really are probably the main reason that I'm working in college athletics, because I was in John's first recruiting class at Oshkosh, and they so impacted what my desire to want to give back and be part of helping change the lives of students. And so thank you, John and Deb. And lastly, I would say this, and it's been kind of a theme amongst the honorees that spoke before me, is you can do anything with a degree from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, and I believe I'm living proof. I was a townie. I visited today where my parents' auto body shop was, which is now where the convention center is. And I was the baby of 6. I was the first generation college student. I would not have gone to college had it not been for John and track and cross country. My father had a massive heart attack when I was in high school, and our family, they were on disability. And so I was a Pell Grant recipient. I lived at home, and I used my Pell Grant to pay for my tuition. And I think about that now, and I think of where my life has gone and the people I've met and the things I've got to do and the people I've gotten to impact. And I love telling that story to our student athletes because I'm a believer in, dream big and never settle, because you can do anything you want. And I did it as a townie from Oshkosh at little old UW Oshkosh. And little old UW Oshkosh isn't so little. Today when Dick and I got to tour, the memories that just flowed out of what I remember this place as a little kid to what I remembered as a student athlete and to now what I know it as a distinguished alum. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's truly an honor. Go Titans!
Thank you, Jamie, for keeping your clothes on this evening. Our final award winner tonight hails from South Holland, Illinois. After graduating in economics in 1989 and working in the business field, Michelle Willis realized her true passion was teaching. She began her education career in 1993 and worked her way up from a classroom teacher to reading specialist to principal. Today, she's known as a turnabout specialist. She was asked to assume the principalship of Gillespie Tech Elementary School in Chicago in 2007, at which time the school was on probation as it failed to meet Chicago's public school performance policy benchmark. In her first 2 years at Gillespie, she increased test scores, she improved student attendance by 93%, improved staff attendance by 96%, obtained 200 new computers, and decreased student discipline problems. Gillespie Tech is now a level 1+ neighborhood school, the highest rating. I have to say, it's the highest rating and that Chicago Public School can achieve. Michelle Willis, you are an inspiration. So please come forward to accept your 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award.
Let's applaud her up the stairs here. That's a long walk. Congratulations.
Good evening. Thank you to the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh Alumni Association for selecting me to receive a Distinguished Alumni Award. It is indeed an honor to stand before you all this evening. I had a wonderful day meeting with students and touring the campus. The changes are outstanding. I can attest to the fact that I received a solid education from UWO. My undergraduate degree served as the foundation for the subsequent master's degrees and the doctorate degree that I earned. I'm sure you're wondering, education, economics, business. I actually come from a family of educators, teachers, and administrators, so I actually ran away from education. Education was always a topic at our family gatherings. I would say that education is our family business. However, my dad worked in corporate America and has a business degree, and so I followed him. Then I found my way back to the field of education anyway. Not long after graduating, right where I belong, following my mom, who served as my mentor, I actually held every position that she held along the way. So I literally followed right behind her. Education is in my blood. I'm positive, though, that the undergraduate degree in economics and business has only enhanced my work as an elementary school principal. I've been a principal since 2004. I ascended to the principalship through natural progression. I started teaching in 1993 as a first grade teacher, after which I became a reading specialist and assistant principal prior to becoming a principal. This is my 14th year as a principal and my 11th year at Gillespie. Education is clearly my life's work. Gillespie Tech is a neighborhood school with a technology focus in Chicago. We've written a plethora of grants and have built a solid team. Our teamwork makes our dream work. It's our mission to create tech-savvy, well-rounded, productive citizens and future leaders. It's our job to make this world a better place. I'd like to thank my family for their unwavering support. I'd also like to thank Dr. Trevi McDonald, a 2008 UWO Distinguished Alum, who nominated me for this award, and they are all celebrating with me this evening. Again, I am truly honored and humbled to accept the University of Wisconsin Distinguished Alumni Award, and I will do my best to live up to the expectations that this award conveys by continuing to provide a stellar education for the students that I serve in the city of Chicago. Finally, I'd like to say congratulations to all of the other distinguished alumni who received awards this evening for their outstanding work in their fields as well. Thank you.
We're very strategic. Everyone has to enter stage left, exit. Thank you, Michelle. Before we conclude tonight, we have two additional accomplished alumni to honor and thank for their dedicated service to their alma mater. Tonight, we want to acknowledge Lynn Clayman and Ross Mueller. You're both here, so please come up. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Both of these two individuals have served on the board of directors. And as a lasting token of appreciation, you guys also get a brick on the patio. Yeah. And so they're receiving their replica as well as they're going to get a certificate acknowledging their dedicated service to their alma mater. So again, let's give them a round of applause for their dedicated service. You can tell we're well trained. Shuffle to the left, shuffle to the left. We again congratulate all of our 2017 Alumni Award recipients. Tonight really has been special. Please stay in touch and keep us updated on all of your future successes, as we're sure there'll be plenty. And we also hope to see everyone tomorrow at homecoming, right? So we can continue the celebration of UW Oshkosh, our pride, our passion, and our successes. So with that said, thank you so much for making it a great evening, and have a good night.
This is, wait, whoa, whoa.
Ooh.
Let's end it this way. When I say hail, you say Titans. Hail!
Titans!
Hail!
Titans!
Hail!
Titans!
See you tomorrow.
Perfect. Likewise. You're smart.